Today we're talking about releasing some guitar secrets from the vault. If you're into Tony Rice, the way I'm into Tony Rice, you're going to really enjoy this session. We're going to cover some sus2 chords, we're going to cover some modal applications, and then we're also going to start looking at how to apply this diatonically across the scale, and maybe on the top 3 strings. If you stick around, we'll get to the next string grouping down. Let's go ahead and get started. So let's start with the sus2 chord shape. We're starting with the root note on the G, and then B, and then E. And it's an all downstroke, so we're using down, down, down. It's all one fell swoop. We're just kind of, we're using the root 2, 3, and then 5. So pentatonic, right? And then downward, descending, we're 5, 3, 2, 1. We could use that as a strum. We could use it as a, so it sounds like we're arpeggiating and articulating more than one note in a single note line, like Mr. Tony Rice did. But we can really get creative with that. So I'm going to leave that up to you, but you have the idea. One of the things that we also hear Mr. Rice do in his guitar playing, instead of just kind of moving the same shape down, you know, like from E to the D to the C to the B. Class and I got style. Or to 16 tons. You know, these chord progressions are just all over the place, but instead of following a chord progression, let's take a look at what happens if we use a modal expression. So what I mean by modal expression is I'm going to pick 2 characteristic triads, and wouldn't you know, I have those 2 characteristic triads right here, all ready to go. There's a D chord. They happen to be the exact same shape. So I'm basically starting with E. Why don't we go ahead and start together with E, and then move that E down a whole step to sound as if it were a D. And then we'll go ahead and move. Let's introduce a new shape. So this is the A shape, right? Down a whole step, and then we're looking for D, or basically the D chord shape, which is E and D. So we have D to E, and then another A shape, D to E, and then an F shape or E shape, D to E. So we have 2, 3 separate shapes. And then we have a lot of fun just by using those 2 different characteristic chords, which are in this particular situation characteristic of the D or the E mixolydian mode. So we have the root between the 2 triads. We share an entire mode. So we have an E, an F sharp from the D chord, and then a G sharp, and then an A from the D chord, and then another B chord. The only note that we don't have in both of those, between both of those chords, is the C sharp. So that C sharp we can use as a bridging tone, right? What I'd like to do is start talking about, you know how we add that like really cool, it's a really great sus2 into the chord. We have that same opportunity down here. We also have that same sus2 happening in that D chord shape, right? Even though we're playing E. We have this really nice 5, 4, 5, 4, but we can reach back to that second fret to expose that add 9 or sus2. Now, it might look easy to you and it might look like I'm an amateur at this, so depending on where you are in your own game, we're taking a look. That same sus2 exists here as well. And it also right? So we can play this all over the guitar. Now let's take a look at what happens when we do this up. If you want to add a color tone, you can add a 6. And a 4 if you want on that shape. Now, the other thing that we can do is start just playing this through. Let's take a look as if we were playing this through the key of G major. Because we still have that open E. Are you still sticking around? If you're still here, we'll carry on. Let's go ahead and start as if we're in the key of E minor now. We'll use that same sort of that hammer on from the root to the 2. This time we'll use the flat 3 instead of the major 3. So a little bit of modal interchange from E major to E minor, parallel major and minor. So let's go ahead and start imagining all of the notes that we would know in the key of G major, which is basically all of the notes in the key of C major, but on F, there's an F sharp in this one. So E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D, and then E. And then B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, and then so let's go ahead to the G string, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, and G. So now what I'm trying to illustrate here for myself and just get my head wrapped around this, I'm going to play this E minor starting here. Then I'm going to play the D major, the C major. I know that I start in the 6, the 5 chord, the 4 chord, the 3, and then the 2 minor, and then the 1, and then the 7 diminished, and then the 6. All right, so let's start here. I'm keeping in mind that I'm using the F sharp. This one's a little bit tricky. It's a little challenging because we've got all 4 fingers involved in this one. let's go ahead and take a look at what happens when we move this idea from the top 3 strings to the next string group down. So string group number 1, top 3, string group number 2, next 3 down, string group number 3 and 4. We started up here on string grouping number 1. Oh, don't forget I slipped up here and I used that C sharp because the fingering's really easy, right? But it's not really that. It's not consistent with G major because the G major scale has that C note in it. I know, I just love talking about guitar nerd stuff. So if we talk about that enough together, it will be like, you know, we've been taught. If it's new for you, just bear with me because it will seem like the more we talk about it together, the more easy it will be for us to. It'll just seem like second nature to you eventually, right? But if you have questions, you can always drop those questions in the comments below anytime. Trick is to get that kind of like decide whether you want to commit to a downstroke and a sweep technique or a down and then an upstroke. So if you wanted to use these, practice these. These would be great. Here's one that we didn't talk about yet. That 7 diminished pattern is F sharp, G, and then A, and then C on the top. And then G. All right, I think that's about enough for today, but if you wanted to stick around, I've got one more thing to cover. If you're here for the duration, you may as well join in. You may as well just stick around. But this is just it's a different kind of session where we're going to stretch out a little bit more, okay? So I'm starting with the chord progression. I'm just going to riff on this a little bit. It's a song that I started writing yesterday afternoon. But there's an E major, so I'm going to have to use that E major, and then we go up to that sort of like parallel minor change by just moving that E chord up a half step. And this is a real secret to, I love the way that strings drone on the guitar, right? You could use that E major, sort of E major, Allman Brother-esque sort of, or don't know how I'm gonna tell you, I can't play with you no more. There's so many approaches to all of this, but I wanted to just talk about what happens when we move from that E major to a parallel minor to that E major and C, you know, flat 6 maybe. It could be G major scale or it could be C major scale. It'll probably be, you know, up to you whether you want to use, you know, maybe Spanish Phrygian. Or maybe G major or something like that, or C major scale. But what... We didn't really talk about this one yet. We did this. We added the 9 on the top, but you could also add the 9 on the bottom. Thanks for being here, and if you'd like to keep this show on the road, you can keep watching and keep diving deeper.